we have to do it. Yeah? What's the program here? Program. No. What's on the screen? You guys see me? Tell me if you see me. You got it? They see me. Okay. So listen, there's a little bit of technical stuff going on over here because we're trying to get the phone system working. I personally don't even care if the phone system gets working because if we can't have phone calls, I'll do a freestyle rap. Would you like to hear my freestyle rap? Actually, I've been working on it. Even though I'm an actor. Oh, that's just to crack myself up. But no, we are working on, you know what that is? Even though I'm an action star, sometimes I'm an act bazaar. Anywho, we're working on the phone system. This is my crystal. Boop. Anyhow, we're working on the phone system, trying to get the phone system working. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I'll just fabrang with you guys. L'chaim, orange cream, Coca-Cola. I made a bracha earlier. And I want to share something with you today. How about that? I want to share a little Torah with you. I'm actually going to pull up the Parsha. You know what Parsha it is? Parsha's Pinchas. And every day, there are 7 aliyahs of every weekly Torah portion. So there are 7 days of every week. So every day of the week, we do another aliyah. So today is the 5th day of the week, Yom Chamishi. We're doing the 5th aliyah of Pinchas. So it's interesting. It's talking about the korbanos, about the sacrifices in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Holy Temple that stood in Jerusalem. And it says interesting, Tzaves b'nei Yisrael should command, Hashem is speaking to Moses, command the children of Israel, v'yamarta lehem, and say to them, es karboni, my offering, lachmi, my food, leishai, for the fire of the altar, reach nichaychi, a pleasant odor. It doesn't literally mean like the odor, but it means it's pleasing to Hashem. Tishmeru, you should guard, meaning be diligent, be careful. Lahakrivli, to bring it to me, b'mayadai, at its time. But more accurately, b'mayadai means on its festival. The word mayed means a festival, like we call the Yomim Tovim, we call the Jewish holidays, or the Chagim, we call them Mayadim, or Mayadei Hashana, the festivals of the year. Or the intermediate days of the festival, you call it Chol HaMayed, the mundane days, not exactly the full-on Yom Tov days, but Mayed means festival. So it's interesting because it's talking about the korban tomid. Tomid means constantly. And it's called the constant offering because it was brought every single day. Once in the morning and once in the afternoon. First korban, first offering of the day and the last offering of the day. It was a communal offering brought on behalf of the entire nation. So what's interesting is that the verse says, B'mayadai, on its festival. But what are you talking about? On its festival, you do this every single day, even on a regular day, not just on special days, like Josh Gordon, all of a sudden would say, not just on Cinco de Mayo, whenever he makes an example of a Yom Tov, he always says Cinco de Mayo. It's interesting, by the way, speaking to one of his kids, forget where I ran into him, but he said, you know, this year in our shul, we didn't say Tachnun on Cinco de Mayo in honor of my father. I'm like, are you serious? He said, well, it was also Pesach Sheni. And it's funny, that year Pesach Sheni fell on Cinco de Mayo. At any rate, so b'mayadai, Rashi, the commentary says, b'chol yom hu mayed hatamidim. He has to clarify because the word mayed means a holiday, but here it doesn't mean a holiday because it's every day. So he says, b'chol yom, every day, hu mayed hatamidim is the appointed time for the constant offerings. So it seems like it's a little bit of a paradox. By the way, can you make it so that your WhatsApp doesn't cling every time a thing comes in? No, it's that your desktop is your WhatsApp desktop. Every time a text comes in, it makes a ding. Oh, that's not me. Okay, give me my headphones. I'm an action star. Hold on, I have to put on my headphones. Where's my headphones? So it's in a little bit of a paradox. Oh, I can hear it now. It's a little bit of a paradox that it's Mayed. Why did I just hear music? Yisrael, do you know that I just heard music? Okay. B'chol Yom. By the way, it's 3 weeks, so please don't play music. B'chol Yom. Every day is the Mayed, is the special time of the Tamidim, of the constant offerings, the regular offerings, perpetual offerings. It's a little bit of a paradox because if it's a Mayed, that means it's a special day. If it's B'chol Yom, it means it's every day. How can it be a special day and every day? How can it? You feel the paradox? You feel the tension of the paradox? How can it be a Mayed, which means a special day, and the B'chol Yom, every day? Special day or every day? Extraordinary or ordinary? Which one is it? But of course, what is the answer? The answer is that this is the way we are meant to live our lives, that every day can be a holiday when we serve Hashem constantly. That through the constant service of Hashem, there's no such thing as an ordinary day. There's no such thing as mundane. It's all holy. It's all special. It's all a holiday. How you like that? I'm reading in the comments, orange cream cola. What? Yeah, you heard me. Orange cream cola. L'chaim L'vracha. Some people were asking about the stuff in the background. They were like, what is that? I'll show you something interesting. So, could you help me out? You see the orange and pink tile? Not the Rambam pink menorah, but the orange and, yeah, bring it over here. Okay. You're going to show it close. Okay, show it close to the camera. There's no light on it. You got to have to shine light on it. Maybe use your phone to shine some light on it. Okay, it's not in focus. There, it's in focus. Okay. Now it's out of focus. Get it in focus. Yeah, now it's in focus. Okay, great. All right, so I made that. That's some art. That is some custom-made art. Shais Taub custom-made art. I did not sign it. I'm not looking to go into the art world, but I made that. And I made it based on a famous story. A story about the great Rabbi Rabbienutz and Eberschutz. And I'm going to tell you the story. I'm actually going to pull it up online. Yeah. Where is it? I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to tell it wrong. Okay. Anyways, the story is like this. Rabbienutz and Eberschutz, who was one of the great scholars of the modern age. When I say modern, I mean, from the past 500 years. He was challenged by a poritz, by a landowner, by a baron, whatever you call them. Yeah, what? Just say it to me, because yeah, I know. I see the displays. Yeah, I know. I see it. Yeah. So he was going to make a decree to throw all of the Jews out of his town. So Rabbi Yonason came and he begged him, like, what can I do to stop it? And he said, oh, here it is. Oh, the governor of the town of Metz was going to throw out all the Jews from the town. And so Rabbi Yonason said, what could I do to stop this? And so the governor said, okay, here's what you could do. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah. He says, how many letters are there in the sentence Am Yisrael Chai La'olamei Ad? I know a lot of people say Am Yisrael Chai, but the whole sentence is Am Yisrael Chai La'olamei Ad. The Jewish people they live on for eternity. So he says, how many letters? The governor asked Rabbi Yonason, how many letters are in that sentence? So he says 60. And he said, how many words does the sentence contain? He says 17 words. So he says, now tell me, how many Jews live in Metz? He says 45,760. So he says, great, I want you to write Am Yisrael Chai La'olamei Ad 45,760 times. Meaning write it one time, write that sentence one time for every Jew in the area of Metz, and I won't expel them. But you have to do it on this paper. And he gave him a tiny little paper, like this big. And Rabbi Yonason sat in a corner, and within 5 minutes he came back and he said, I did it. It's called a snaking puzzle. Basically, get it in focus, not in focus yet, it's not in focus, now it's in focus. In this puzzle, there are 45,000 and more combinations of how to follow the track. You have to hold it longer there so people can see it. Okay, so you have to let people see. Basically, there are 45,000 different directions, ways, routes that you can do on that one page, 45,000 different possible combinations, how to spell Am Yisrael Chai La'olamei Ad. It's called a snaking puzzle. You take different turns, detours. If you're mathematical, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you're not mathematical, you'll probably just be frustrated and annoyed. At any rate, so that's one of our cool artist pieces. You can put the piece back, by the way, so thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoys that. Now you'll know what it is when you see it in the background. Okay, do we have a caller waiting for us yet? Okay, so 1 second. Caller waiting, Norma. Okay, fine. All right, Norma, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Okay, I listened to you. I just started listening to you actually.
Okay.
I was wondering. Going through something right now.
Okay.
Dating somebody for a while. Over almost like a year and a half. We were about to get engaged, and he had passed away suddenly.
Oh my goodness.
Out of nowhere.
How long ago?
I had no.
When did that?
2 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
2 months ago. And we were both never married before, so this is like a crazy situation.
Devastating. Oh my goodness. And it was totally unexpected.
Totally unexpected. He was actually going to eat dinner by my house on a Friday night, and he never showed up, and I didn't know. I never knew what happened, so I had to find out.
Oh my goodness.
It it was a crazy situation. It was really not expected. Like, I had no idea.
Did he have
So
family?
I was,
Did he have family or?
he wasn't really that close to them, but he did have family.
I mean, did a lot of the responsibility fall on you during the ensuing like crisis? I'm sure of
Uh,
dealing with this.
Actually, no, his parents, a lot of it, his parents.
They did deal with it.
But I was, yes, but
Okay.
I did. Oh yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yes, and
Okay.
it's just been extremely difficult. Extremely
Yeah.
difficult. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the whole situation has been crazy.
It's such a wow.
So I just feel a lot of, big trauma, and I just wondering if I, it's possible to recover from something like this. Someone who did everything for you, and
Yeah.
you love very much.
Yeah. It is certainly possible to recover, but let's talk about what that means. Is it possible to recover? This is somebody who you were very close to, somebody who you had planned on a whole life with, which you're not going to get to live. And that's going to leave a void in your heart forever. And I don't want to kid you about that. That's a void that will always be in your heart. Now, does that mean that you won't be able to have other joy and you won't be able to have other love and connection and relationships in your life? No, it doesn't mean that. But there is a certain void that will always be there. Even if, and God willing, when you do move on and have, you get back, I hope that marriage is such an important thing, and I hope that you go looking for a suitable partner to build a life with. And even when you do, obviously that loss will always be a loss, but no, it will not hold you back from living productively. Just respect the process, respect the mourning process.
Right. Yeah. It's been crazy difficult, nonstop crying and.
Yeah. It's 2 months ago, you said.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Look, I'm right now.
And we're both in our 40s.
Wow. And neither of you were married before.
Both were not married, no.
Yeah. 2 months is very fresh.
Yes, and I was the closest person that he had.
Now,
because he wasn't really that close to his family.
I wanna ask you a question, if it's okay. And
sure.
I'm somewhat changing the subject, but it is related to your question, and that is King Solomon, who was the wisest of all men. He said that the living shall take it to heart. The living, those who are left here, are supposed to take a lesson from the life of the person who passed on. So I know that you have this terrible pain, this void, but are you able to tell me like a lesson, or perhaps more than one lesson, that you learned from this person?
Absolutely.
Okay, I would like to hear about it, because I think that's very important.
I just feel I could have I just feel like I could have been more giving in the relationship and more.
Okay, I want to guide you though, because that's a regret. You're saying, you look back and you say, I could have been more this or that. I don't want to go down that path for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's not helpful right now, because what has happened has happened. But secondly, that's not something you're learning from him. That's something you're learning from you're learning from yourself. You're looking at your old self and saying, I wish I were different. I want to know what you learned from him. Something that he
told me how
you.
to. He told me how to enjoy every moment of your life to the max.
Were you on the call before? Were you on the show? I mean, were you listening before you came on the call?
Very little, but I was never on this call.
No,
before.
I'm saying
never.
like a minute, like 10 minutes before you came on the call. Did you hear what I was saying?
Yeah.
Because that's freaky.
I'm not sure if I was tuned on.
Okay, so I was reading from the weekly Torah portion. I was reading a verse from today's Torah portion. This is very freaky, and where it says that you should bring the constant offering. It's talking about in the temple, the daily offerings, b'mayadai, which really means on its holiday, but it's not a holiday. It's every day. This is right before you came on. I was saying, you can replay it and see that I'm not making this up. At any rate, I said it's a little bit of a paradox. Is it a holiday or is it every day? Because there are offerings that were brought specifically on holidays, like on Passover or on Shavuos or Sukkot. But this is the constant offering that was brought every day. So I said, there's this really beautiful teaching that when you're serving Hashem, then every day can be a holiday. That's what I said right before you came on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Tell me more about how he taught you that. I mean, aside from the fact he probably said it to you, but like, how did he illustrate it? How did he show you?
He always enjoyed himself no matter what. Like, he always, like, just as long as he was having a good time, that's all he cared about. Like, every time he was out, he knew how to enjoy himself. That's what he did. And he taught me that also.
What if you went out and things didn't go like the way you planned? Like you were supposed to have a picnic and it rained.
He would do on the phone. We would argue on the phone a lot. But while we were out, he would never argue.
What would he do if things, didn't go the way that he planned, or there was a unexpected problem? How would he deal with it?
Oh, he was moody also. Like he did have a temper, but when he was out, he knew how to enjoy himself. We did argue a lot, but when he was out, he knew how to have fun, how to enjoy himself to the max. He didn't care about anything. Yeah, he didn't care about anything. He was good like that.
Yeah.
And he was also very giving. He was also very giving, always giving to people, always giving charity, always,
So
always making people
a
feel
good
good.
time,
He always
making
made
other people
people
have a good time. He was feeling good, making other people feel good.
Yes, always.
And
is
that something that you naturally do well?
Making them feel good, not as good as he did. Not always.
Mm-hmm.
Not always.
And what about the having a good time? Is that something you're naturally
I can't say
good at?
that. I can't say that always, but most of the time I do. Not as good as he did,
Mm-hmm. He's a whole other level. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that those are a couple of things that you learned from him to feel good all the time and to help other people feel good.
To make people, make people
to be
feel
generous.
Good. He always knew how to make people feel good. He was always very generous with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you learned from him?
What else I learned from him? Thinking what else I learned from him. Can't think of anything this moment.
Okay, but those are two great things. So here's the next thing I would like to ask you. Being that he no longer is in this world and can't do things in this world anymore, but you are in the world and you can do things in the world, what can you do that he would have done if he were still here?
I guess I would make a difference in people's lives the way he did.
Exactly, in the way that he did, meaning specifically by following.
Even a waiter. Yeah, even with the waiters on the restaurants, he knew how to make them feel amazing. Like one waiter even wrote him a letter how much he'll miss him when he's not going to work there anymore.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I had tears coming down my eyes because it was just so. Yeah, even the waiters loved him. People. He was just an amazing person, and he was a little moody. He got into his mood sometimes, but
yeah, I hear that.
Nobody's
he
had
perfect.
a very good heart. He had a very good heart, very, very good heart, and he was very sensitive.
Like I told you, this is a major, major loss, and it's going to be with you for your whole life. Even if you have a successful and fulfilling life, which I'm sure you will, but there will always be that void. But what I would like to advise you to do is to really try to, on a daily basis, at least once a day, be conscious of trying to do something the way he would do it. And specifically these lessons about having a good time and helping others to have a good time, the way that he would do it.
Yeah. And making people feel good also. He always made people feel special. He made people feel special.
Yeah, that's a great thing, to make people feel special. And
yes, he always did.
Yeah, and just taking the time to notice people. Yeah. I mean, you give a great example with the waiter, because a lot of people know how to flatter, but they'll only do it for someone they can get something out of. But when it comes to like a waiter, they're like, yeah, whatever,
He was extra nice to the waiter and his doorman. Extra nice to those people. That's what I knew he was.
Good heart. Yeah, good heart.
Yeah. Very good heart.
So you should carry that on. That's his legacy through you, living through you.
Yes. I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
You're not going to just try. I'm sure you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah.
He gave you that lesson. You have it in you, and now you just have to bring it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will. I'll bring it out.
Yeah. Okay. I want to wish
willing.
God willing. Yeah. And I want to wish you continued healing. And if you have to cry,
you're
going to cry. There will be sad days because it is a loss. And keep on spreading that love and that care and that consideration for others the way that he taught you how to do.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you for the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Okay. All right.
Have a great night.
You
too.
Be well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We have a lot of callers tonight. I'm always blown away by the quality of the people who call in. It's like I always expect who's going to call, just somebody making a prank call, making some troll, some prankster, but it's always like real people with like beautifully profound insights. I'm always blown away, just really humbled and grateful and blown away by the quality of the calls that we get. Thank God. Okay, our next caller on the line, Mrs. B. Hello. Hello. Are you with me?
Yes, hello.
Hi there. So what's going on?
My teenage son is nervous to come home from camp, and my heart hurts for him and for myself.
Let's talk about it. Do you know why he's nervous to come home?
Yeah, he doesn't feel he belongs in the family. He doesn't want to be part of the family.
Okay.
He wants to be different.
Cool. So it's not school stress, it's home stress.
Yeah.
I have good news for you. You want to hear the good news?
Yes.
School stress is hard to fix because what are they going to do? They're not going to listen to you. They're going to do whatever they do. I'm saying the school does whatever they do. They don't change. If your kid isn't fitting in, I'm sorry. This is what we offer. But home stress, you could actually fix it because it's your home. So we could actually, I think we can accomplish something here.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I've gotten this great good news a while ago, and I'm still stuck.
Okay. But let's talk. I mean, you say you got this great news a while ago, meaning somebody else told you the same thing.
Yeah.
That if the problem's at home, you could always fix it because it's your home.
Yeah. So we're trying to fix it, and I guess it's forever.
Okay. How long has he felt? You're saying he doesn't feel at home, which is ironic.
Right.
Why is that?
He doesn't have a good relationship with his father. He doesn't talk to him.
Okay.
And I'm like in the middleman. I'm like in the middle.
I hear you. This is tragically common. I can't tell you how common it is. Cannot tell you how common it is. And I'm a big believer in not wasting time and not wasting energy. So I'm not going to comment on things that your husband could do differently because he's not talking to me. If he were talking to me, I would give him some advice. But if he's not talking to me, then I'm not going to talk about him. Why? Because it's a waste of time to give advice to someone who's not even talking to you. So let's focus on let's focus on you. Is that the major thing? Is that he feels uncomfortable because of the relationship with his father?
He also wants to be different than the family, so he doesn't like his family's different than him.
What does it mean different? He's 15. What does it mean different?
Lost from.
Uh-huh. You know, I used to write a column in Ami magazine, an advice column. And you're giving me flashbacks to an advice column that I wrote probably 10 years ago. Because it was a very similar thing. A woman wrote to me and said that her teenage son is not happy at home because he doesn't get along with his father. And I mean, I haven't looked at this column in 10 years, I don't think. But I wonder if what I'm going to tell you now is consistent with what I wrote then. I think I told her, your number one responsibility is to create a safe environment at home. You have to do everything possible to create a safe environment, emotionally safe. I don't mean physically, obviously physically safe, but I'm saying emotionally safe, a judgment-free zone, a place where he can relax and feel like he is cherished for himself. That's your number one responsibility. And you have to do everything possible to create that for him. And if you tell me that no matter what you do, you cannot guarantee an emotionally safe environment in the home, then your next responsibility then is to find him somewhere else to live. Because he has to be in an emotionally safe place. Preferably, by far, the number one place for any child to be is with their biological parents. And I'll say that, and I'll say it over and over and over again. I don't care who will judge it or be offended by it. There's no question that the number one best place, ideally, for any child is with biological parents. When that is, however, sadly, not possible for whatever reason, okay, then we have to do the second best that we can do for that child. So I guess that's the question. Can we create a completely emotionally safe environment for this child where he can feel like he can be himself and not be judged and not be pressured and not put down and not called out, made to feel different? Can we guarantee that? Or do we have to find him another situation to go to?
So I would say that he also feels extremely safe is a strong word. I wouldn't say not safe, but not comfortable in a very strong way because of our living conditions, which is not that terrible, but he thinks it is. And he wants to be a lot more comfortable in his own space, which I cannot give him. And he'll drive me off the wall because of it.
Yep.
So I have to stay strong,
Yeah.
and I know that I'm giving him everything I can, and the rest is not in my hands.
What does he want to do? He can't stay in camp forever. What are his thoughts?
So he's talking to me, and he's expressing his feelings, and like I said, he's nervous.
Okay.
He doesn't know. He's like, what am I gonna do Shabbos? I'm gonna go crazy. I'm just not gonna keep Shabbos. Like, I don't think you want that. I'm like, no, I don't.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Can he go stay in a dorm? Can he go away?
I asked him if he wants to go to another yeshiva out of town and dorm, but he doesn't want. He wants to stay where he is.
So then he doesn't want. Okay. So what are we going to do for him? The home has to be a safe place for a child. Completely safe.
Mm-hmm.
Completely safe. And he's already, by the way, he's telling you, it's mm-hmm. not a threat, by the way. I just want you to I want to make sure you will know this, and all the people who are listening now, I want to make sure that they know this too. He's not threatening you that he's going to stop keeping Shabbos. It's not a threat. He's actually being pretty self-aware and telling you the truth, that he sees mm-hmm. what is going to happen. Listen, a human being is not a robot. We're not machines. We have a certain finite capacity, and when that capacity is used up, the deficit's going to be taken from somewhere. So when a person is using all of their emotional energy to survive because they feel under threat just being in their own home, their body can't even fully relax when they're trying to go to bed because they don't know when they're going to be maligned or attacked or judged. That takes a huge toll on an organism, physically, not to mention emotionally and spiritually and mentally. And then things mm-hmm. like keeping Shabbos, which are things that we would do if we had more emotional surplus to devote to it. But, when we're completely drained, when completely emotionally exhausted, some of those things don't happen anymore, even though we would like them to happen. So he's telling you already, like, his emotional battery is running low, or he knows that it will run low when he's home. And he's letting you know already that it's going to affect his observance. So, I mean, come on, what are we going to do here? Just going to say there's nothing we can do?
I don't know. Maybe I should turn over our apartment and give him some private space somehow, some way. All the kids are going to be jealous and not handle it. So that's going to cause more problems.
Yeah. Got to do something for him. Is he the oldest?
Yeah.
You got to turn this around because I'm not trying to be scary here. What I'm saying is, they say little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems.
Yeah.
So, he's your oldest. So he's the one where it's most noticeable. His problems are most noticeable because he's the oldest. But I promise you mm-hmm. that if he's just like the main symptom bearer, like you see it in him the most because he's oldest. But whatever mm-hmm. it is that's unsettling to him, it's going to affect the younger kids also. And it's already affecting the younger kids. You just don't see how it's affecting them yet. So what I'm saying is, mm-hmm. If you don't fix it for him, eventually you're going to have to fix it. I mean, at some point you're going to have to fix it. So let's fix it sooner than later.
What can I do? I took myself to a therapist and to see what I can fix for myself in my relationships. And I think I got to a very good place, to the point that I think the younger kids are not suffering as much. Mm-hmm. And things have a lot changed. That's what the most I can do.
I'm not even so concerned with the physical part of it. Like, I don't know, like, listen, we're on like a live show. People are listening. I don't want to get too specific, but like I'm talking to you and like just talking to them, imagining like, okay, we're talking about a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Don't say yes or no, by the way. But I'm imagining, like, 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn with 7 kids, the oldest is 15 and, the youngest is 18 months. And you got 7 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn and, without even central air. And you got the window rattler AC units. That's what I'm imagining, right? Don't say yes or no because, the nudniks don't have to figure out everything. But what I'm saying is, to me, that's not even the main thing. The main thing is the emotional safety because, like, kids can grow up in a 2-bedroom apartment with 7 siblings and be happy. And by the way, conversely, kids can grow up in a mansion where every kid not only has his own bedroom, but his own bathroom. I've seen it. And be absolutely crawling the walls with being completely, deeply uncomfortable because the emotional energy in the home is toxic. So to me, the main thing is not even that, the physical space. He's asking for the physical space as a place to escape from the emotional tension. But if he didn't have to escape from the emotional tension, then he wouldn't need the physical space.
Right. So it's taking him time to realize that things are not the way it used to be. We have to prove it to him. It's not going to be so simple. Hopefully, with the time,
things are better.
Start to feel that. Yeah, definitely. But he doesn't know because he is still in that fight or flight mode, and it's going to last for a long time.
I got it. So you're saying a little bit different now. You're saying that actually it's not such a stressful home to live in, but it used to be.
Right now. Right.
Well, what does right now mean? Like,
I'm saying, no, that, over the past few years, it got better. Up to 2 years, let's say. It got much better.
Yeah.
But he's not aware of it.
Why is he not aware of it?
So maybe a little bit because he's talking to me and he's expressing himself, and that's a new thing. So he's definitely aware of it on some level, but he's still very afraid.
I think maybe, he's a 15-year-old. He's the oldest son. The oldest sons are third parents. They're little adults. I think you can have a mature conversation with him, and you can say, your fears are legitimate. I'm not going to gaslight you and tell you, oh, no, everything's fine. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I admit that there were issues where the house was stressful in the past. We've really, really worked on that, and we're going to continue working on that.
But it had an effect on him to the point that he wants to change, and he doesn't like the fact that now he's different, and he wants us to be like him.
Well, you can have a mature conversation with him about that and say that part of being yourself means we don't have to be like you, just like you don't have to be like us. Being yourself means everyone has to just be themselves. This is who we are, and that's fine. It's who you are, and that's fine. The point of our home is that we're a judgment-free zone. So, if we could only be at peace if everyone were the same, then that's not judgment-free. Judgment-free is that everyone can be different, and no one's going to be pressured for it.
So I'm expecting him to accept me as me, just like I'm accepting him as him.
Yeah, I mean, let's clarify what that means, though. There's a huge difference between you accepting him and him accepting you, and I want to explain the difference. You're accepting him is as crucial to his life as water, as sleep, as food. A parent's acceptance of a child is as vital to survival, to healthy survival, as a physical need. He needs your approval. But if you flip it, you don't need his approval. You're trying to teach him to accept you because it's a good thing for him to learn. It's good for him, right? It's a life lesson for him. But it's not like you need his approval. It's not like you're going to die if he doesn't approve of you. But a child will die, either literally. What do you think all the overdoses are? What do you think the suicides are? Children do die from a lack of parental approval. Or they die emotionally. They die inside. They walk around dead inside. So he needs your approval. You don't need his approval. You need to teach him how to be accepting of you because, like you said, that's for him. That's for his benefit that he learns to be a tolerant person. And also he learns to be a self-confident person. He learns to be, you tell him, be who you are. To the contrary, be who you are. But being who you are and being confident in who you are means you don't need other people to be like you in order to, if you believe in it, then do it. I think, there's a lot of growth that can happen here. I would rely on the fact that he is mature, he is intelligent. I would just have a very, very transparent conversation with him and let him know that, you know, your number one priority is that he should feel safe. And yeah, that's it.
I guess when it gets tricky is, just one more question. I guess tricky is when he's in the thick of it. I know it's going to pass, and it feels like it's going in the right direction. It's just that when he's getting overwhelmed and throwing it all onto me, and I'm like, hey, okay, what do I do now? Like I'm stuck.
But that's a job. That's a mother's job. You know, that's our job. Our kids do put a lot of pressure on us. They do have expectations. They do look at us as if we can do anything. And it is a lot of emotional pressure. But that's why you got to believe in God to be a parent, because you got to turn around and you got to pray and you say, Hashem, I'm just a finite little being. Please fill me with some of your infinite power because I need to take care of my kid.
Yeah, it makes me feel like a single parent. Well, but it's not. It's every parent needs to do it.
Yeah. We all need to rely on God. We're all relying on God because we can't do it on our own. Can't do it. Even people who have every advantage, where both parents are on the same page and they have a big house and all the things, and they have aunts and uncles coming and helping, they still need to rely on God because raising a child requires infinite power, and infinite power only comes from an infinite source.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, lots of nachas. Okay. All right. Let's go to, do we have a caller waiting? Yeah, Jason is on the line. Jason.
Hello, good evening, and thanks for having me.
My pleasure. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful this evening. I'm in the Midwest here. It's about 100 degrees, but we're surviving.
Where in the Midwest, do you want to say?
Near Kansas City.
Near Kansas City. On the Kansas side or the Missouri side?
Missouri side, but I've lived on both.
Very good. All right. I was in Kansas about a year ago, but way in the middle of Kansas. I was in Lawrence. That's not the middle of Kansas, Lawrence. But it's about an hour outside of Kansas City, right?
It's about 45 minutes. It's a very interesting town. It's definitely great to visit there. I lived there for about 5 years.
There's a painting on the wall of this studio, actually not where you can see in this shot, but on the other end of the studio, that I got in Lawrence, Kansas. So there's an object in the room I'm sitting right now that comes from Lawrence, Kansas. Isn't that?
I love those synchronicities. That's amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, what's going on?
Well, I'll just preface this real quick with just a quick background. I experienced a spiritual awakening about 3 years ago. Okay. Completely flipped my life upside down. changed all my belief systems, started waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and meditating out of nowhere, having visions, having insight on my whole life. Saw the world completely differently. That's a quick version of it. But it's been quite the path since then, and changed me. And I've had to, work with those, all that knowledge and being able to see through things and intuition.
Yep.
And a lot of things had to exit my life at that point. So of course, marriage, house, job, a lot of those things left, and I have a young child.
Okay.
And been on the path since then, and it's been a crazy ride. But I'm super grateful for the whole thing, and I can see all these things that happened to me, and how it's actually benefited me. When you get on the other side of it, it helps. But one big thing's been coming up recently, and I know there's previous trauma on that, but I had a job that recently closed down a few weeks ago, and I have a lot of fear and anxiety that come up about finances. Now, of course, the spiritual side of me doesn't like money, and I try to not let it rule my life, but it's also something that's very much needed in this world.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to live my life and go day to day, but I do wake up sometimes in complete fear. I could lose my child or this and that, and it overwhelms me. And I like to speak like I'm above this, but when I am in it, I am certainly not. I am fearful, and you had a couple of videos that popped up for me, and I saw it today, and I just appreciate any input on it.
Well, it's very interesting to me that you had this very intense spiritual awakening. I mean, very intense, relatively intense. So it created an upheaval in your life. So on one hand, you had this really intense spiritual awakening, which seems, you're saying it happened a few years ago, so it wasn't like something that was a fleeting thing. It's still with you. It changed your whole lifestyle. And yet, at the same time, you're still experiencing fears around money. So it's very interesting to me. I don't know the answer to this, but I have a question, which is, that's like interesting. Why do you think that you had this major rearrangement of the way you see life, and yet the money thing still triggers you? What's up with that?
Well, I think because I struggle on blending my spiritual life and I guess we would say normal life together.
Yes. I think that's it's
really hard for me.
That insight really resonates with me based on things that I know about you. And you know how I know things about you?
How?
I'm not psychic, but I listen. I know things about you based on what you've told me. And what you told me is that when you had your spiritual awakening, it was massively disruptive to, you told me you lost your family over it. So what you just said really resonates with me as true, that you have a difficulty with, you called it blending, I might call it integrating the spiritual with the regular. Because when you had this gift, and I do think it's a gift, of this massive spiritual awakening, you weren't able to integrate it with your everyday life, which to me, like the pinnacle of everyday life is the home. So what you just said about yourself, I think is very insightful, and it resonates with me as being completely accurate based on everything I know about you, based on what you've told me. Does this make sense to you, what I'm saying? Does this?
It does. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm wondering how much of your path in front of you has to do specifically with the challenge of integrating the spiritual into the ordinary. In other words, let me say it like this. Anyone can be spiritual if they take an oath of poverty and celibacy and they live on a mountaintop. And, it's very easy to be spiritual that way. But it's very hard to be spiritual when you are having to show up on a day-to-day basis, doing adult things in society, having regular responsibilities. Much, much harder to stay spiritual, much harder to be transcendent while you're also present in the here and now. So I'm wondering if the money thing is just a symbol of the challenge that's in front of you to integrate, specifically to integrate the spiritual into the mundane.
Yes, I'm with you. And, I think the reality is it's all spiritual.
Well, yes, yes. Everything is spiritual.
From moment to moment, even.
Yes.
But
but there are two modes of spirituality. There's the overtly spiritual, and then there's the hidden spiritual. Overtly spiritual is like the miraculous, the supernatural. Then there's the hidden spiritual, which is the natural, the day-to-day, which also is a gift and is straight from God, but it requires more maturity to perceive it. I'm wondering like this. I'm just thinking out loud, but regarding practices that would help you to integrate your spirituality with your everyday life, what I might even call your embodied life. Does it make sense to you why I would refer to it as your embodied life?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I want to, just because there's other people listening, I want to explain it to them. Speak about spiritual life, that's like the life of the soul. And, where's the soul most comfortable? Well, certainly not in a body. The soul is light. What's it doing in a finite little container, But, we have a little, I don't know, I just lost the video feed over here. Something happened. Okay, 1 second. Let's get that fixed. At any rate, it's a funny thing, to be a soul in a body. And yet, the Creator in His infinite wisdom dispatched us here for a reason. He knows what He's doing. There's a purpose to it. And, in some ways, this is the ultimate spiritual accomplishment, is to find peace in embodiment. So I would like to talk to you about maybe some practices that would help you to integrate your intense spiritual awareness into everyday embodied life. Does that sound like it would be an important piece of the puzzle, at least?
That sounds wonderful.
Okay. So, what's going on here? What? Okay.
Yes.
What's the video feed? You don't know why this is happening? Okay, trying to fix it. Okay. It's interesting that money is a trigger for you, because money actually is part of the healing here. You said you don't really like money, and I get why you don't like it, because you're a spiritual guy, or at least you've become a very spiritual guy, and money is a distraction. I would encourage you to start incorporating money into your spiritual practice, and the specific way to do that would be through charity. And it doesn't have to be large amounts. When it comes to charity, the important thing is not the amount, but the frequency. Meaning to practice charity as a regimen repeatedly throughout the day. In fact, I don't know, what's going on with the video feed? Because trying to fix it? All right, so the video feed right now is not working, but There's on my desk, nobody can see it right now, but on my desk there's a little canister, and you can hear me rattling it right now. It's making noise because there's coins inside of it. But what it's for is to give charity. I keep it on my desk, and before I give a class or before I do anything, I take some money and I put it in there. And I do that repeatedly, multiple times a day. And there's something about the act of physical, not just you're taking money, you're changing it from one account to another, but there's a physical component of it. Where you reach into your pocket, and you pull out the money, and you put it in this canister, and then when it's full, you take it down to whatever good cause it is that you're supporting. I think that might be very healing and settling for you to get your soul more integrated into your body.
I love that. And it's very practical and easy. I've actually, want to do that, but that is an actual physical thing, an act, and I know how that can help rewire your brain as well.
Yes, that's right. The repeated act sort of treads new neural pathways. Yeah. So I think that might be very helpful. Just it doesn't have to be large amounts, even some pocket change, but making that part of your daily practice, I think, can be very healing and settling, and be the beginning of getting your soul more comfortable in your body and feeling more empowered in your body.
Yep, and that's another big word, is just empowered.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I've lost a little bit of that, and it's all intertwined. But yes. Yeah.
And also another thing is that when you give charity, God pays you back. So if you're struggling a little bit financially, so by giving charity, you will receive more. Again, it doesn't have to be crazy amounts that would be reckless for you in your position to give. It could be small amounts, but the repeated act will open up the pipeline to receive financial blessings.
I love that. And it's kind of opposite of what you think. You lose a job and you start to tighten up, but I think you're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's like we feel like it's the last thing we need to do is to be giving away any of our money. But there's an old parable that a guy goes to the post office to mail a package, and they weigh the package, and they tell him it costs $5 to mail the package based on the weight, and you have to buy stamps. And so he gives them the money, and they take the stamps, and they start putting the stamps on the package. He says, "Just stop! What are you doing?" And they said, "We're putting the stamps. You just paid for the stamps. We're putting the stamps on the package." He says, "No, but the stamps are going to make the package even heavier." No, don't put the stamps on. It'll make it even heavier. So in his mind, putting the stamps on the package, no, that's the wrong direction. We don't want to go that direction, because if it cost this much when it was this weight, and now you put the stamps on it, make it even heavier, that it'll make. But the reality is, no. Putting the stamps on it is what's going to get it to the destination where you want it to go to. So putting the stamps is like giving the charity. It's not going to make it more burdensome. It's going to expedite it. It's going to get it to where it needs to go to, which in this case, really, what is it? And going where it needs to go to, where it needs to go to. It's your spiritual awakening needs to become more grounded, specifically in areas of the material, the mundane, the physical. Yeah. So I highly recommend that practice. I recommend it to everyone, but especially in your case.
No, I'll start it right away. And then, of course, you put it in there as the act, and then, of course, give that to charity of some sort, correct? But it's the act of putting it in one place, right?
Yeah. And then, if you have a container and you fill the container. When it's filled, you can go bring it to whatever good cause you want. It could be a local cause or whatever it is. But just the point is to help others. You're helping others. You're helping either a cause or an individual. It really doesn't matter. The point is any act of generosity is charity.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad that resonates with you. Okay, that's fantastic.
Well, you've been a ton of help.
I'm so glad that I was able to be helpful. I'm very grateful.
And I hope somebody else was able to get some help from it. And really, that's the only reason I share that spiritual story is because, I had to find people similar things happen to. I thought, I didn't know what was going on with me. So I always share that in these types of groups in case it's happening to anybody else. So they have somebody to relate to. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And God knows how to arrange it that people who need to hear it. So you put it out there, and maybe someone will be listening to the replay at 3 a.m. and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, that is so applicable to my life." Yep. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, and and thank you for your input. And have a wonderful evening. And hopefully, I'll see you in Lawrence,
God willing, or in Kansas City, or who knows where. All right. Be well.
All right. Have a good evening. Thank you.
All right.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Okay. Hold music. All right. That's not hold music. It's just a little thing. Okay. Fantastic. So since that little voice said I'm the only one in the conference, I'm assuming that means there's no other callers waiting. Is that correct? By the way, Yisrael, I would appreciate, just talk loud. It's okay. Unless you're scared for your voice to be on YouTube. What happened? Why was the test pattern on the screen for 5 minutes? You press something? You press something on your phone? I saw you pressing your phone. So what was it? Could you explain it to me? You don't know what it was? And how did you fix it? Called Shaman. Explain to you what you did? 3, 2, 1 motion. You see our gorgeous studio with all of our cameras and our fancy lighting and our mics. Who did this? 3, 2, 1 motion. In 10:42 p.m. he had an issue and he called Shaman Chain from 3, 2, 1 motion and he fixed it for him. 3, 2, 1 motion for all of your audio and visual and live streaming needs. The consummate pros. Yeah. All right. By the way, while the test pattern was on the screen, could they hear the audio? They could hear the audio. It's very quiet in the chat, by the way, tonight. I don't really see a lot of action in the chat, quite honestly, to be quite frank. So what do you think about Elmo's anti-Semitic rant on Twitter? What do you guys think about that? Why is it so quiet in the chat? You heard about Elmo? He says he got hacked. What? Post what? Post the live link on my Instagram story? Okay. Yisrael, do you know that I'm an action star? Even though I'm an action star. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do just that. I could go live on Instagram. Okay. How about that? I'm going to go live on Instagram. Even though I'm an action star. Sometimes I'm an act bizarre. Okay, I'm going live on Instagram. All right. I'm live on YouTube while I'm live on Instagram. How you like that? Yes, I am. So someone's writing in the chat, a lot of action. A lot of action? No, I don't think there was a lot of action. I think there was very little action, quite frankly. Hi. So I'm on, listen, Instagram people, I want to explain something to you, Instagram people. I'm actually live on YouTube right now, okay? Hi. Okay, listen. Listen, I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm going to ask you to go over there. See, when I go on YouTube, got like 26 concurrent viewers right now. Schwachameises, like we say in Yiddish. And now I'm on Instagram Live. I got 162 in the first 30 seconds. Okay, but listen, guys. Here's what I need you to do, all right? I need you to come over to, let's look through the camera roll. You guys remember that one? Oh, that was fun. YouTube.com/SoulWords, okay? I need you to, go over, please, to my YouTube channel and come watch the live. I'm live on YouTube right now. Okay? Our Gemini rabbi. That's right. I am a Gemini. What's wrong with Insta? What's wrong with Insta? We're in the middle of because I don't want to hold this. That's what's wrong with Insta. I'm not feeling like holding my phone. Okay? Sorry. We're on a live on YouTube. What? We're on the bonus segment of the Thursday night live call-in show on YouTube. They're writing, why can't we do live on here? Please, just come to YouTube. We're all over here. People are writing in the comments. We're here. We're over here. We're over here. Someone's asking, what's the deadline for someone to sending in a call-in topic? I don't know. There's no official deadline. If you have a topic you want to call in about, send an email. I've said this many times. I'll say it again. Send an email to info@soulwords.org. That's info@soulwords.org. Write a one-sentence description of what you want to talk about, just so that we know that it's normal. And then we'll respond to you with the call-in information. Okay. What? I don't really follow what you're saying. You want them to email you? I don't want to confuse them. I already said that email. Special for tonight? We can get a live caller. Okay, fine. What's the email? If you email Soul Studio 7685. What? 7685? Soul. Okay, Soul Studio 7685 at gmail.com. Soul Studio 7685 at gmail.com. Soul Studio 7685 at gmail.com. If you send an email over there, we will give you the call-in information and you can call in and talk to me. Okay? All right, I'm going, ladies and gentlemen from Instagram, I'm going to put my attention back to the YouTube people. Please come on over to YouTube. Please come back over to the YouTube. The pin, you see the thing pinned? YouTube.com/SoulWords. Come on over to the YouTube. I'll see you over at YouTube. Bye. And now, discard video. Okay. Someone wrote, I gave a good topic. A friend of mine asked me a serious question, so I immediately responded to email you at 9:25. LOL. I wrote you on Insta. You wrote me on Insta? Okay, let's see here. I'll open up my Instagram messages. Oh, you didn't write me. You voice noted me. You want me to play the voice notes? Okay, so do you give me permission to play your voice notes out loud? There's a person who's, just so everyone understands what's happening, somebody who is writing in the YouTube chat is saying that she DM'd me on Instagram. I see that she did, but it's a bunch of voice notes. Do you give me permission to play your voice notes out loud on the mic and everyone's going to hear it? Probably not. You'll let me know if you're comfortable with that. I tried 3 times to donate. Link wouldn't let me. No, that's not true. Hold on a second. Charity.com/. Okay, I'm sending you the link to donate. And thank you for reminding, I just sent you the link to donate. And thank you for reminding me that I just DM'd you in Instagram the link. And I'm going to write it here, charity.com/RST. Charity. Okay, we're trying to, charity.com/RST. Okay, we need, hold on, pin message. Okay, I just pinned it. Did I pin it? Yeah. Okay, so JFYI, we got a annual campaign. We're fundraising so that we can continue to reach 10 million people a month. It's not a joke. It's not a made-up number. 10 million people a month across all platforms. And we need your help. Charity.com/RST. Please donate. Oh, I'll tell you this. Oh, I did this last week and it was fun. If you donate any amount, even $1, I will read your dedication as long as it doesn't have swear words or hate speech or anything that's morally repugnant to me. But other than that, go to charity.com/RST, charity with a D, charity.com/RST, and donate even $1. It doesn't matter how much you give. I will read your dedication out loud on the air. Yes, I will. I absolutely will. And that's no joke. Okay. I have a good topic. Oh, I read that already. I would present it differently. Okay. You want to call in? So send an email to Soul Studio 7685. Soul Studio or Studios? Studio. Singular. SOULSTUDIO 7685 at gmail.com. Tonight only. Send in your email right now, and my son Yisrael will respond to you with the call-in number, and we'll get you on. And you know what? Even if you are a troll, I'll talk to a troll. Why not? Go ahead. What? Just write a short description of what you want to talk about, and I will get you on tonight. Let's see if anybody donated at charity.com/RST. Charity with a D.com/RST. I don't see anything. Not yet, at least. Yeah. Okay. So, what would you guys like to hear about? Oh, I should also tell you something about the way that comments work on YouTube, because I don't like harassment, and a lot of immature people will go on YouTube and just write obnoxious comments. So I have a rule that you have to be a subscriber to the channel in order to leave a comment. How you like that? It weeds out the bullying, the cyberbullying. I hope you'll understand that I'm not in the mood to be cyberbullied. Not today or any day. If I develop a perverse desire to be cyberbullied, I'll let you guys know. What did the masochist say to the sadist? Hurt me. What did the sadist say to the masochist? No. What do you think about that? All right, I'm going to check and see if any donations came in. Did any donations come in? Yisrael, did you get an email yet from anyone? Nobody even emailed. Oh, hold on. I got a donation. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the donation. Okay, hold on. A bunch of donations. Fine. So this is anonymous. I see the name. I can see the name. But I'm not going to say the name because you wrote anonymous. $36 from anonymous. There's no message here. But thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to say your name, but anonymous. Thank you very much for $36. Another Gemini. I see your name. I'm not going to say your name, but I see your name. But you wrote your display name as another Gemini. $18 doubled. All the donations are doubled. So 18 becomes effectively 36. And he asks, what was the email again? What was the email? I'll read the email again. Soul Studio 7685 at gmail.com. soulstudio7685 at gmail.com. Okay. And anonymous, another anonymous. I see your name, but you didn't write your name, so I'm not going to say your name. Donated to the For the Cats team, which I love. Wow, that's big. $17 recurring for 12 months monthly, which gets doubled, so it effectively is $408, which is really helpful. And the dedication, very interesting. The dedication is to an Egyptian deity, and I think I am bound by Jewish law not to utter the names of such deities, especially deities of a place where we historically were subjugated and persecuted. So I don't know what I can do about that. I think I'm bound by Jewish law not to. You probably mean it jokingly. I don't think there are a lot of practicing. Well, I don't know. Maybe there are. Do you have an opinion on any of this alien stuff coming out? I do. I do have an opinion. I think there's a lot more information than what we are told about. I don't know if the government has actual proof of alien life, but my hunch is that if they did, they would not share it with us. Okay. Are they on? No, not yet. Okay. I think that we can't really trust the government to reveal to us. Here's what I think. I think that if the aliens, here's my experience in life, that when you try to go through official channels, it always ends up being lame, and then you just have to not go through official channels. I bet you the aliens are being gentlemanly, and they're trying to go through official channels, and they probably are like, let's contact the government. Let's contact the leaders, and let's go through the appropriate, like they're trying to be polite. Let's go through the proper channels. And probably the government is like suppressing it. And finally, the aliens are going to have to just make themselves known to the masses. That's probably what's going to happen. That's my prediction. I wouldn't be too afraid of it. I think if the aliens are hostile, yeah, I think they would have done that already. I don't think they're hostile. Look, I also think that if the aliens are advanced enough to be able to travel light years, I think they've also come to a place of a more enlightened worldview where they're seeking peace. That's what I think. That's my guess. What do you think? Okay. Let's see if there's other donations. Not yet. Okay. Is there a call coming in? Any other questions? Subjects for discussion? Anything on your mind? Anything troubling you? Anything you find disturbing? You want to talk anything through? Well, we have a caller, another Gemini. Our next caller is on the line. It is another Gemini, and by another Gemini, that means in addition to me, because I am a Gemini. How you doing, twin?
Well, Hashem. If I was born a few hours earlier, I just found out I would be also Chaf Aleph.
Oh, you were born Chaf Beis?
Yeah, my grandfather's passed away, so I was in Montreal for the funeral. So we were going through all the birthdays and the yard sites, and my mother was 100% sure I was born in the day, but that would make me June 19th Chaf Aleph. But my father's not that bad, so it had to be at night. And then my aunt's like, no, I remember you picked me up from school. We went to the mall, and then your water broke, and he was born at 9:00 at night.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Okay. So you
anyway.
Well, but hold on a second. Where were you? Were you born in Montreal? Or were you just visiting Montreal?
Born in Montreal.
Well,
Green
hold
Glass
on.
was my sandik.
But Green Glass was your sandik. That's choshev. But listen to me. In Montreal, 9 p.m. could still be before Shkia in June.
No. Shkia now is just there. It was 8 and change. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen,
Okay.
don't make me. I validated it this morning.
Okay.
So don't make me go back.
Okay. Chav base. That's b'cha. Chav base is b'cha. B'cha yavarecha. In you shall be the blessing.
My mother's a Moroccan, so we were always grew up. They big on all the horoscopes and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So when you posted that on Instagram, it was really validating because I've been saying it for a long time.
Yeah, the Gemini thing. It has a real effect.
Yeah, Kanye and Donald Trump.
Oh, you heard about that? Yeah, Kanye and Donald Trump. Yeah, they're also Geminis. Yeah, Geminis
listen, they believe in whatever it is, and they go to the end of the world to prove it. So
yeah.
Anyway, so I have a friend. It's very important that we talk about it. I hope he's listening.
Yeah.
I have a friend who had a very tough childhood.
Okay.
You said it 10 minutes ago that if it's not safe at home, it's not healthy.
Yep.
To say the least.
Yep.
And now, Baruch Hashem is at a point in his life where things are much better, albeit a little more alone, but not completely alone. And he got married, and he's afraid to have kids because yeah. So he literally and I just had a baby, Baruch Hashem, my second 3 weeks ago, and I'm still tripping on it. So he asked me, and I said, I don't want to. The last time he was in a tough spot, I maybe didn't respond the right way and told him, I'm not coming back for your funeral. So figure your shit out. Excuse my language. Sorry, everybody. But
yeah, we don't have the beeper. We don't have that.
Yeah, sorry. we have the broken screen. But so anyway, so I'm hiding in the bathroom so we don't wake the baby up.
Yeah.
So I just, how do you communicate to someone, until I held my son in my hands and learned the bris mimer, stayed up all night. It didn't click how that there's nothing that can compare. So how do you communicate that to someone who?
Yeah, but he's got fear. You can't communicate because you could communicate all the beautiful ideas, but when somebody is afraid, deathly afraid, fear is from a basic place, and all beautiful ideas are in a more loftier part of the brain. So it's like when a person is when the body takes over, that's what fear is. It's fight or flight. So all the beautiful ideas that you're speaking to the brain, the body can't hear it. So he's terrified. If he had an unsafe childhood, of course he's terrified. He's terrified that either he's going to continue the cycle of abuse, or or at the very least he won't know how to raise a child lovingly because he didn't experience that. And he feels he can't give what he never received, and he'll just go out for milk and never come back. So he's terrified. I wouldn't try to tell him about the beauty of parenting. He's not able to hear it. I think what you need to do is help him to get over his fear. And not that you should help him get over his fear, but encourage him to do whatever it is that he needs to do to get over his fear.
All right, I feel it. I hear you. I hope he's listening.
All right. Or you could just send them the link.
I'm going to send him the link. I'm watching you talk to me from 30 seconds ago. It's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Love you. Going back to the show.
Whoa! No one ever told me they loved me yet on the show. Thank you. I love you too. I feel that it's real from you, and I reciprocate it to you.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Be well, Gemini.
You too.
I don't know your real name. I do actually, because I see it in the back
You
of the
do.
charity. But we're going to respect.
Let me know when we're going to Tahiti. I'm not going to stop antagonizing you about that.
Oh, should I tell everyone about the Tahiti thing?
It's Ches was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
We might have to wait till next year.
Okay, I'm going to whip out the globe, but there's another caller coming on soon. Okay, but hold on.
Go.
The other call. Yisrael, can you help me out with a couple things? Can you grab me the globe? Okay, so we're going to let my friend the Gemini, my beloved Gemini, we're going to let him go. I'm going to play with the globe over here, and we're going to pull up the other caller while I'm playing with the globe. We're going to pull up the next caller. All right, so.
Thank you.
Okay, be well. So here's the deal. We got, there's another donation. I just want to read this. Rocket, am I back? 1889.3 is here. I don't understand that cryptic message, but the guy gave $20 a month repeating for 12 months. So, yeah, you're giving $240 over the year, and it's being matched by our matcher, so that's $480 effective. So for $480, I'll read it. Rocket, am I back? 1889.3 is here. It says with a question mark. Rocket, am I back? Question mark. 1889.3 is here. I don't really know what that means, but I hope I didn't read anything bad. Sounds just like a cryptic message. Okay, I'm okay with it. All right, so listen. The Holy Land is the top of the world. It's not the North Pole. Why do you think the North Pole is the top of the world? That's very arbitrary. Okay? So if you put the Holy Land on the top, Eretz HaKodesh on the top, then there's something called the Antipodes. The Antipodes means antipodes, where your pode is like foot, like podiatrist, a foot doctor. If you're standing on any spot on Earth, so there's a guy in the exact opposite spot on Earth. Your feet and his feet are pointing toward each other. So what is and that means the farthest spot possible from any given spot on Earth. Like when we were kids, they used to tell us if you dig straight down a tunnel, you're going to dig to China. It's not exactly accurate, by the way. It's not. But anyways, what's the Antipodes of the Holy Land? It's in the South Pacific. It's near Tahiti. It's not Tahiti, but it's near Tahiti. It's over here in the South Pacific. So I want to get a boat. This is what Gemini was talking about, going to Tahiti. I want to get a boat, go to the exact Antipodes of Jerusalem, meaning the exact opposite spot on Earth from Jerusalem. Get a boat, get 10 Jewish men to stand on the deck of a boat and pray a minyan, a quorum. And what we would do is we would stand back to back in a circle. You understand? You get it? The configuration. We all stand back to back with our backs to each other in a circle, each person facing a different direction. And you're going to say, well, I thought Jews pray facing east. No. If you're west of Jerusalem, you pray facing east. If you're east of Jerusalem, you pray facing west. If you're north of Jerusalem, you pray facing south. If you're south of Jerusalem, you pray facing north. If you're in the Antipodes of Jerusalem, then any direction you face is equidistant to Jerusalem. How you like that for cool stuff? Do we have another caller on the line? Caller is on. Okay, you want to pull it up? Just pull up the call. What are you waving for? What?
Hello?
Hi. You said, I need my charger. My laptop is almost out of battery. Can you get me my charger?
Okay.
Hey there.
Hi. So thankful to hear from you, to actually speak to you.
Is this the person who was DMing in Instagram?
No.
Person?
No.
Different person. Okay.
Different person. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Amazing.
Okay.
So what's up?
Well, my daughter, and I mean, I have the same anxiety, but the thing is that
I'm older, but my daughter, mine has to do more with my daughter. She has, well, they say that she has, what do you call it, autism.
They say that she has
And
autism?
so,
What do you mean they say?
yes.
Who's they?
Well, her, her psychologist, her psychiatrist, and you know what I mean?
No. You hold on. Yisrael, it's already too loud. I was trying to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm talking to my son. The caller's volume was too loud. I was saying turn it down, not turn it up.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. You're doing fine. Okay. Yisrael, just watch the level. When she's talking, just make sure that it's a normal level. Okay, go ahead and talk again. I'm sorry. So the psychologist says your daughter has autism. How old is she?
She's 15.
15?
15,
15. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and do you agree with that diagnosis?
Well, I know that she does have, well, they say that she's like at the high end of the what do you call it?
Can I tell you a secret?
The spectrum. There you go.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
High end doesn't mean that it's less of a difficulty for her. High end means she's able to fake it enough that other people won't even give her sympathy for being different. High end means that she looks normal to everyone else and she's secretly suffering on the inside. So in a way, high end can be way more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At any rate.
Yes.
And so you're saying she has anxiety, but, like her anxiety could just be from the stress of living in a neurotypical world that's not hospitable to neurodivergent people.
Yes, she feels like she doesn't fit in with anyone, and she's been bullied a lot, too. So I homeschool her. She asked me to take her out of school because she couldn't deal with it anymore.
Does she feel safe at home?
Yes. So I homeschool her. She's happy here, but the only problem is, now she's the only thing is she's alone. She doesn't have any friends. We don't live close to actual congregation, so it's different when we're out of town. We live close to El Paso, so there is a Chabad in El Paso.
Greenberg.
But, it's like really
right,
far.
Rabbi Greenberg.
And then
in El Paso.
Yes, Rabbi Greenberg. Yes. Yeah. But we're about like an hour away from there. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more difficult to go to different functions and whatnot.
Yeah.
She's always wanted to go to camp and whatnot. But when we go to Houston, because I go to Houston often for doctor's appointments, we go to the Uptown Chabad. And they know it's there. Everything's it's very welcoming and very warm, and just she loves it. You know what I mean? And we're
Uptown Chabad in Houston. I'm trying to remember which Chabad in Houston that Uptown is that Lazarov? Who is that? Who's the rabbi there in Uptown Chabad in Houston? I'll Google it. I'm trying to remember. Remember who it is? Just playing Jewish geography over here. Knesset Shluchim, where's Waldo? Chabad of Uptown. Let's see. Okay, I'm searching it. Anyways, listen, is she happy?
Well, that's the thing. It seems like she's both happy and sad. And I'm sad because she has no friends here. And but happy because
yeah, it's Chaim Lazarov. I just looked it up. Yeah, it's Chaim. Okay. Shout out.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, but does she feel safe and comfortable at home?
She does when it comes to me. When it comes to my mom, she feels a little more pressure because my mom doesn't, even though, yes, we come from a Jewish, ancestral line, like my mom believes in Christianity, and before she wouldn't. My mom doesn't push it on her or anything, but my daughter just feels like we're like in a alien home, kind of, you know what I mean? Where there's like half the home is like dedicated to Christianity and the other half is like, you know, just our little space, you know, for our practices, you know, my library of Jewish, you know, books and whatnot, and yeah, you know, for studying and whatnot. And
okay, but listen, the main thing is, does your daughter feel safe and comfortable with you at home?
She does. She says it with me specifically. And she says the problem, though, is she's seen since she was a little girl that I have epilepsy. So she's seen me go through having seizures. So she says that she doesn't like to be away from me because she's afraid that she's going to lose me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, you got to talk to her and explain it to her. Explain it to her what it is so she doesn't worry for you. She sounds like a very sweet and considerate girl, and she cares for you. And yeah. So
it's just she loves watching some of your you know lives when you do these call-in lives. And different little like shorts that you have, or you know what I mean, like she says it helps her a lot in her life.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Well, see, the problem right now is that she was raised by me, my mom, and my grandmother. You know, her father's not in the picture. And my grandmother has had like dementia for the past probably, I would say, 4 years, but it's getting to the point where it's getting worse. My daughter at first was able to still go over and, you know, try to read to her and, you know, and just do different little things with her, even though she knew that, you know, that my grandmother wasn't well. And, well, her great grandmother, right? And it's getting harder for her because, of course, my grandmother, I'm so nervous. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
My grandmother, you know, she's getting to this point where you can tell she's starting to age all of a sudden really, really quickly. And so, you know, everyone in the family is, you know, obviously arguing about things already, and, you know, and it's getting pretty bad. And so my daughter doesn't want to attend functions with the family or anything like that, which I understand. You know what I mean? It's for her. She says it's too much. It's too much, and she can't handle it. Like it gives her high anxiety, you know. And now it's just, you know, since my great grandmother is getting worse, my daughter doesn't want to go visit her, and I don't know if that is like a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm being told by so many people, you know, from my family that, you know, I'm doing her wrong because of her age, and I'm not teaching her that people pass away. You know, even the ones we love and are very close to. And I feel conflicted because I feel the anxiety myself. You know, I have my own issues, and you know, but when I see it in her, of course, it hurts me more because I'm a parent. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to do what I can to teach her well, bring her up well. And I'm so conflicted. I don't know what to do because I love her, and I mean, even for me, I don't want to go visit either, because she was my grandmother was like the only person I could really talk to, you know, honestly and truthfully, my entire life.
I hear you.
You know, and my daughter growing up to have her, my daughter was always so happy with her, you know, when she was a child, you know. I mean, she's still a child, but, you know, when she was a younger child. So, you know, I feel guilty in a sense that I don't take her. And, you know, now that I feel like, okay, maybe I should start going, because everyone's telling me you're going to regret it. you're going to regret it when she passes away.
Yeah.
And, even, just put the pain aside. But the thing is that when it comes to her, I see the pain in her too, and I see the anxiety in her too, and I don't know if it's good or bad for me to, take her, and see it, or if that's, if it's gonna be too much on her, because just hearing about it, hearing the family talk about it, she gets very anxious and just it's like she just wants to shut down. She gets anxious and it's like she just wants to shut down, or she kind of mutes herself. She puts her headphones on, just watches whatever, on her laptop, or like starts drawing. She's an amazing drawer, and it's like, but I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And it's hard. I don't know how to handle this. You know what I mean? I don't know if it would. I'm not trying to be a bad parent, but at the same time, I mean, I'm just trying to do the best I can for her. Like I understand what everyone's saying. You know what I mean? And I understand that they say it's going to be more painful, if she doesn't go. And I mean, if when my grandmother finally passes away, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I hear it, you know what I mean? But the thing is that if I feel the pain, and then I see it in her, and I can imagine I can imagine her because she's younger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least I can understand more, but, her, it's different. And, she's she can't handle, not even hearing about it. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'm doing her wrong by not taking her over to visit, and if I should start doing it again, because she doesn't, the thing is that she tells me she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to see it.
Okay. Well, she told you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's no more discussion. She expressed her needs. She doesn't have a responsibility to go. Listen, she's a sensitive girl. You have to protect her. That's all there is to it. Not letting other people guilt you. You have to raise your daughter. No one else is raising her.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hashem should give you strength. Continue to be there for your daughter. Take care of her. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so glad that I was able to talk to you.
Good. Okay. I hope it brings you some clarity.
Oh, and by the way, it's so interesting, but a lot of good things have blessings have come to me. Well, there's always blessings everywhere, right?
Yes.
But blessings have happened, recently, obviously from Hashem, and you know how you're doing this campaign.
Yeah.
And my mom comes in and tells me, she's just randomly, 2 days ago, she's like, I promised God I was gonna, give $200 to, to help someone. Or like a charity or something, you know what I mean? And I just, at first I just told her, well, just make sure whatever, because I didn't want to bring up, any, I didn't want to bring up the whole Judaism thing. I don't know where we both stand on that right now still, because it's always a back and forth thing.
Yeah, it's a sensitive issue.
Yeah, so, I just kind of ended up mentioning it to her, and she's like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, you just go ahead and I'll give you my card and and put 200, and and I was like, wow, I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, that was Hashem. You know, thinking what I mean, I wrote Hashem. You know what I mean? Because it's. I mean, I was not expecting that at all, and I'm so thankful because I've been trying to do what I can. You know what I mean? And and my mom just comes in out of nowhere, and it's just like, wow, we're able to help, another contribution. It's just yeah. But yeah. I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah, there's a little moment of Hashgacha Pratis, divine providence.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sending you my prayerful wishes that you should have strength to continue to guide your daughter and to take care of her. And I thank you for calling in. I really appreciate you reaching out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Right.
Okay. We have another caller waiting on the line. Yisrael, do you want to just pull up the next caller? Okay, we don't have a name, so just pull up the next caller. Say hi. Hi. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Thank God. I'm doing well. What's up?
First off, nice to meet you. I want to tell you how I found you. I saw a great clip you did on Instagram about Dr. Zhang.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I loved it, and I loved your take on it and the lineage you traced. Alcoholics Anonymous. I am a huge, huge participator and advocate of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Great. Okay, so that's how
really
you found
involved in Grace and Mercy. Over 20 years clean and sober.
Amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so what's up? What do you want to talk about?
Sorry about that. I lost my audio for a minute.
No problem.
I apologize. But I really enjoyed that, and I sent that out to a few people, including my wife. But I've had a remarkable journey. I got sober when I was 19. I had 12 years of uninterrupted sobriety, and I stopped working my program. Very traditional tale. I went back out and relapsed.
It's good for people to hear it.
4.5 years.
People should know.
It really is. It's something
people have to know.
Agreed. It's a disease that tells us every day that we don't have a disease.
That's right.
And I was back out there for 4.5 years, and by God's grace and mercy, again, I on November 12, 2004, and then I really did have a remarkable occasion. So it's kind of neat to be able to jump on the phone with you. I'm born and raised traditional Jewish family. My last name's Ginsburg. That's not Irish.
Yeah.
But my second time around, miraculously, I called out to Christ to save me. And I was sober and I was saved, and I've been a Christ follower ever since. And it's been an incredible journey, and I've been equipped and called to work in the industry. Been almost 9 years in. We've got a 6-bed medical detox residential treatment center in Poway, California. And it's just been an incredible journey, but it's so awesome to be able to get on the phone with you and say hello to you.
Appreciate you reaching out. Let me ask you, you're saying you're from a traditional Jewish family. So you put on tefillin every day?
No, I mean, yes. Let me qualify my comment.
Okay.
A reformed traditional.
Okay, that's
Jewish
fine.
family.
But what I'm saying is,
so I apologize.
No,
yes.
don't apologize. I'm saying I want to encourage you to connect to your Jewish heritage and to do a mitzvah. And when you're doing your prayer and meditation every day, which surely you do, I want to encourage you to put on tefillin.
Hey, you know what? It's a nice suggestion. I appreciate it. I have no issue with the suggestion at all. I love my Jewish heritage, but I identify really as a Christ follower and as a Christian. Of course, I'm a Messianic Jew. I'm a completed Jew. But
I hear you.
I love the Lord, and my life and path is committed to Christ.
I hear you, but that doesn't negate you putting on tefillin every day. So that's why I'm suggesting.
It does not. You're right. Well, thank you.
I'm suggesting
I appreciate it. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I love suggestions. I am a product of suggestions.
Ah, that's good. You learn how to take suggestions. Yeah.
You've got to in sobriety if you're going to stay sober.
Yeah.
But it's really, again, it's just, I saw your live come on. I was really taken with you when I saw your comments. A bunch of people in our community were taken with what I forwarded to them. And I think it's really great that the Lord saw fit for our paths to cross and for me to get him in on the phone with you. But actually, I wrote a book a while back. I'd love to send you a copy.
Okay, we'll email you the address. Yeah, we'll have a
that would be great. Yeah, I'd love to
you
send it to you.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you'll read it, but whether you do or not, I'd like you to have it.
Okay, we'll send you the address.
Yeah, and I'd love if you get a chance and you can check out the website for our treatment center. We're able to help a lot of people. It's been a remarkable path and an incredible journey.
Okay, we'll follow up with you through the email. You'll send him an email. Come send the address.
I'd love that, and I'd love to talk to you more somewhere down the road, wherever it fits for you. And I think there's a lot of different elements in our lives that are parallel and congruent and for the better good.
If anything we can do can benefit somebody else. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope. I appreciate it.
Yeah. God bless you. Nice meeting you, sir.
God bless you. Be well. Okay. We have another caller waiting on the line. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. Good, Baruch Hashem. We've spoken before, not on the call-in.
Where did we speak? In real life or on the phone or?
Yeah, on the phone.
But
about other completely different things. I don't know if you'd even know me from this, what I called to ask.
I speak to so many people. I don't know if I would necessarily remember it, but okay.
No, just this question took like a long time for me to have courage to ask. I know I usually listen in from the beginning, but I had something else tonight, so I know a few people spoke about their children. So I'm sorry if it's like a repeat. I have a 3-year-old son, and he's adorable, like the love of our lives, like an amazing kid. Ever since before he was even born, really, it's almost like he didn't want to be here. Like when I was expecting him, we were told by our doctors that the pregnancy was not viable, and that we should terminate it. And we went ahead and we asked a lot of questions, obviously, to our Rebbeim, and in the end we were told, no, go ahead with it. What they're saying is not true. We switched doctors, and Baruch Hashem, there was a beautiful, healthy baby.
Okay.
Then he turned 6 months old, and he developed, for very unknown reasons, he developed very strange symptoms. He stopped eating completely. He stopped sleeping. He lived a life of real chronic pain. Nobody where we lived could figure it out. We actually went to Boston Children's Hospital, which is one of the best in the country, and he was part of many studies there. And he had over 16 surgeries for 2 years just to keep him comfortable. They were finding different things, and they were doing exploratory work to try and figure out what was going on with him. And basically, he's 3 years old today, almost 4 actually, and a lot of things have been, figured out here and there. He's been tinkered with a lot. But he has a very residual heaviness to him. We obviously do a lot of therapy. He goes to therapy actually every single day. He has somebody who comes to the classroom with him. He is my entire life. I spend a lot of time trying to keep him happy. Sometimes at night, before he goes to sleep, really 2 days ago, he goes to me, I don't like this planet. I don't want to be here.
Hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt you. I apologize, but he's 3.5, almost 4, and he says to you, and please don't paraphrase. I want to make sure this is a quote. I don't like this planet. I don't want to be here.
Yeah. I wish,
this is your only child, right?
No, I have other children.
Oh. How old are your other children?
I have a 5-year-old and I have a 1-year-old.
Okay. So let me ask you about the 5-year-old, meaning the one who's older than this child. A boy or a girl?
A girl.
A girl. Did she or does she speak like this?
No. My other 2 children are just very the only reason that I'm able to put so much into this child is because Baruch Hashem, my other 2 are just so, no, No.
So then
It's
you
always,
understand,
they're not like that.
because you have I wanted to make sure you have a point of reference. Okay, I wanted to make sure you know what normal.
And I should have said that to you before.
Right.
That's why I'm so tortured by it, because
So
I
you
know
know
that
it's
this is
highly
not,
unusual.
yeah, I do, and
Yes.
I there's like I always feel like I'm dealing with somebody who, he's also the basic functioning mechanism, right? What we need to eat.
Listen,
and we need to
between
sleep.
you and me,
He
if he
doesn't
were
do
born,
any
if
of
this child were born in another century, or perhaps even in another decade, he would not be alive. It's only a miracle of modern medicine that he's alive.
Yeah,
But I'm a
I
strong
always-
believer that God knows exactly where and when he sends souls. And this is a soul that normally would be too intense for this world. But God sent this child's soul to the world at a time when medical advancements would be sufficient to keep him in his body.
But and to follow what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
This child has never gotten a specific diagnosis.
Correct.
Even by the people
you know
who
why?
have treated him.
Because medical diagnoses are all tertiary. They're not even the real condition. Medical diagnoses are a description of a glimmer. They're never the description of the real thing. They're talking about the physiological manifestation of something that is ultimately spiritual. So it's the real condition is existential discomfort with embodiment. That's the real diagnosis.
And I know that you speak a lot about embodiment, and honestly, it's the only explanation of this that has brought me any form of comfort. Like my friends always say to me, I don't understand how you're comfortable with the fact that at the end of the day, you don't have a name for this. Like his stomach stopped working, but then it started working again. His lungs stopped working. And basically everything that they did was just to ease the comfort. And I always picture him like, I don't know, what's that flower? What, a dandelion where you like blow out they go scattering in the wind. Like ever since he ever like came into my life, it was me just trying to run after the like those sparks that were flying everywhere. I just always feel like I'm dealing with a soul trapped in a body that is so uncomfortable and doesn't want to be here. And I am a very intuitive person. It is one of my strengths. I do connect very deeply with people and I understand them. And to me, it's living. And obviously this is not something that I discuss with my peers or even my parents, or it's something that's that I keep very close to the chest, that I feel like I'm raising somebody like that, because I don't think it's something that a lot of people really connect to, and I don't blame them for that.
Not only they don't connect to it, it'll upset them. There's no reason to tell them.
No, but it is, at the end of the day, I do go to bed crying sometimes, that I just feel like I'm raising somebody who's so tortured, who it's so hard to keep comfortable. And I was saying before, right? Like, and what do we do here? Like, we eat and we sleep, and we need that in order to function. This child is almost 4. There is no food that he enjoys. He hates food. He has a feeding therapist who sits with him and tries to get him to eat. He doesn't feel hunger. So if he could go, he has starved for 3 days. He doesn't sleep at night. He's up most of the night crying. And it's a very strange thing. I've never heard of it before myself, before he was brought into my life. But to raise a child like that and to stay focused and happy and grounded. And I know that everything that Hashem gives me, I honestly feel, sometimes I feel like it's such a compliment. Like, wow, I can't believe you ever thought that I could even do this.
Yes, that's
it
true.
Taught me a lot, because
it's
I'm
a vote of
somebody
confidence that Hashem picked you to be the mother.
It's the biggest vote of confidence I've ever had. That's what I've turned around and said. But I'm somebody who needs everything so down on paper and so like stamped and here and stable. And this is it's like an unstable atom. Like, it's just and it is difficult, but it's very rewarding. And it takes a lot. And I don't know what's the best way to keep him comfortable necessarily. Like, I almost feel like I focus so much on his body that I also forget about his soul.
Correct. That's exactly what I was about to tell you. That's exactly what I was about to say, which is, it sounds like you're doing a very good job taking care of his body, and the body is sometimes more obvious. I mean, it's usually more obvious because we see it. But then there's spiritual comfort that he needs. I think you speak to a kid like this completely transparently. You don't hide anything, and you say to him, you know that you're really a soul. We're all really souls. You're not different in that regard. We're all souls. You know that it's difficult for all souls to be in bodies, but God sends us here on a mission for a purpose. Everyone has a mission, has a purpose. That's why we're here. And part of the comfort, and in fact, for a kid like this is much more comforting than physical comfort. Obviously, you should do everything in your power to give him physical comfort, obviously. But I'm saying sometimes what's ultimately going to really make him feel at peace is going to be the spiritual comfort. And I think you have to speak to him very transparently about the fact that souls don't really want to be in the world, but they realize that God needs them to be in the world to accomplish something, and that we accomplish that through the mitzvahs that we do. I mean, you can speak to him about mitzvahs. I mean, do you speak to him about mitzvahs?
So yes, like 2 nights ago when he had said that to me, I don't know, whatever, it was 2 nights or last night, I said he also wakes up a lot during the night. His mind doesn't stop working. Yeah. He's like really, he'll ask like random math questions. What's 300 plus 12? Like he doesn't shut off. Yeah. And I said to him, you need to be here. Like your neshama needs to be here. I know that it's a crazy thing to say, but
no, it's not crazy at all. Not crazy at all. No, not crazy at all.
And he asked me, he said, what does my neshama need to do? That's what he said. He said, what do I have to do? And I said, Hashem put you here. You have to do. I said, I think you're going to love learning Torah. I think you have the mind for it.
You should start already. You should start already.
So I did that day. I actually took out his olive bina and I started like opening the pages.
Yeah.
And he happens to be very cognitive. You know what they describe? Like, he's had a lot of evaluations obviously done, and they say that he has like a Porsche mind and a jalopy body. Like it's like his mind and his body, and they mean his mind. I view it as his soul, but they're on 2 different planets. Mm-hmm. And it's a very difficult existence, but I'm very glad to hear that. I mean, I'm doing the best that I can, and I think that this, like, it's also an age where they're only starting to get in tune with their surroundings and mitzvos and Torah. But I really hope that
but kid like
that
this,
really
this
could
is
be his comfort here.
This is exactly what he needs. I mean, really, you should be studying deep concepts with him. He's already deep, and his mind is racing. The truth is, he's so philosophical and deep that if you don't feed him with Torah knowledge, he's just going to go off into weird places. So he needs.
That's my fear.
Well, that you have to stay on. You have to stay on his pace.
What would you teach to a child of this age? Like, if you would start with something, what would it be?
Maybe Shara B'Tochen, because it would help him to relax and feel at peace. I would literally take a sefer, Shara B'Tochen, I would learn with the kid.
I'm actually really going to start doing that. It's impossible for him to fall asleep. I'm going to do it with him.
I would like to most kids, you read them, like little kiddie books about, Malki wants to know, is it time for Shabbos yet or whatever. But for him, you read him Shara B'Tochen.
It's very interesting that you suggested that, because when I was going through very difficult times with him in the beginning, when it was like just very frazzled, there's a mashgiach, his name is Rabbi Shai Morgenstern. He's in Yerushalayim, And I kept calling him and I was saying, I'm so depressed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And he kept sending a message back that my husband and I should read Shar B'tachon together.
Oh, there you go.
And I didn't take his advice.
Yet.
And I called him again and he said, no, at the time, though.
Now
I have.
Now you did it. Now you did it. Okay.
I called him back. I was very chutzpahdik, and I called back and I said, I'm still not coping. I'm not functioning. And he said, but you didn't. He remembered, and he has hundreds of thousands of people who come to him a day. And he said to me, but you didn't listen to what I said. I told you what to do. So my husband and I, through this entire, ordeal, we started learning it together. It's the one thing that we learned together. And it's the one thing that I make the time for. It's hard right now to be doing much. So I think that it's a beautiful thing to pass on to him.
Yeah.
So
that's so interesting that you all. It's they say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is makdim refuah l'makeh, right? The cure comes before the disease. So you and your husband both already studied Shar B'tachon. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, we just started, I think, for the third time again. It's like something that we just keep doing on a cycle for exactly this reason. So, wow.
And I'll put in a
incredible.
shameless plug for my Shar B'tachon Shiurim that you can watch on YouTube or on SoulWords.org or on your favorite podcast platform.
I do listen on Spotify.
Okay. You listen? Okay, on Spotify. Shar B'tachon. I forget what my podcast is called, but if you know how to find it, great. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And there's some great ones about emunah and anxiety. And it got me through that's how I found you.
Oh, very good.
Actually, now that I'm thinking, that
was the first video that you found of mine. That's great. And now you're here. You made it through the pipeline.
Yes,
the funnel.
I'm here. So, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. That was very uplifting. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Listen, lots of nachas from all of your precious children. And
thank you.
Yeah. This is a special job here that you've been given. And Hashem should give you strength.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Be well. Be well.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. Amazing. That's really, 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 really amazing. So, do we have any other callers waiting on the line? Yes or no? No. Okay, no more callers. Oh, please include the link. Okay, hold on a second. There's no link for. Here's what you have to do. What's your email, Yisrael? Soul Studio 7685 at gmail.com. Send an email, okay, to soulstudio7685 at gmail.com, and we'll get you on the call-in show tonight. How you like that? And I just want to remind everyone, the donations stopped coming in. So I'm going to remind everyone about the donations. Charity.com/RST. Please donate generously. All right. So someone else is going to be emailing you a number to your email. What? Using the slider. Yeah, the slider camera. I like that. The slider camera. All right. Any other donations coming in? I'll read the dedication. You are a very special Rabbi. Toda Rabbah. Okay, thank you. I'm just, I am me, and everyone is different, and everyone is special. Everyone is special. That is the reality. Okay. We got any other calls coming in? Any donations? Anyone gives even $1? If you give even $1 at charity.com/RSD, again, charity.com/RSD, charity with a D, charity.com/RSD. If you give even $1, I'll read your dedication on the air. Did you get the email, Yusro? You got it? You're going to queue it up? Pull up the call? I don't know. We have a special guest? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. But I ran out of orange cream Coca-Cola, so I need a little more. I'm trying to donate. Yeah, okay, donate. Charity.com/RST. I'm on the site. Okay, donate. I'll read your thing. I'll read your dedication. Please donate. By the way, if someone would donate $5,000 recurring monthly, the whole campaign would be finished. So some of you are listening like, oh my gosh, nobody has that kind of money. And you know what? I used to think that too, but there are people who are blessed with a lot of money. There are people who could do $5,000 on their credit card a month, recurring for 12 months, and it wouldn't change. They wouldn't have to skip a meal. I promise you. It wouldn't change their lifestyle. So if you're capable of it, please do it. If you're not capable of it, then that's clearly not what you need to do. Everyone has a different mission. Nothing came back. What does it mean nothing came back? Did you respond to her email? So, are you responding to her email? He's responding to you. Just hold tight. Just hold tight. We're waiting for another caller to come on. And while we're waiting for a caller, let's do a little dreidel. Yeah, I'm ready for a caller. Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
Thank God, I'm okay. What's up?
I don't know how to start this. So basically, I was looking for somebody like to call in to help because I'm kind of going through something right now, and you were the first one to pop up. I'm not Jewish or anything, but I think you could help me out.
Okay.
So, recently, I kind of relapsed.
Okay.
And like right now, I'm thinking about relapsing again.
Mm.
And how do you find like willpower? Because I'm telling myself that I just can't do it. And I'm praying like today I was praying to God, and I just can't do it. I just have so much shame.
Yeah. So I want to tell you something, and you know this already, but I'm gonna tell you something you already know, but probably doesn't hurt to hear it again. You know this is not about willpower. Not about willpower. What, you think you're just lazy and weak? You think you don't care? You think that's your problem? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is that your problem? You're lazy, weak, and don't care?
I feel weak.
But that's not the you're tired. You're not weak. You're tired because you're being beaten down by this addiction. But you're not lazy. You're not weak. It's not that you don't care about life. You're dealing with something that's way stronger than you. And all the willpower in the world is not going to be enough to defeat it. This is way bigger than you. It's bigger than any human power. So it's not that you should feel like, oh, I'm so weak. I wish I had more willpower, then I'd be able to fight it. No, that's the addiction talking. The disease tells you that this is a matter of willpower. And if you would just muster up a little bit more willpower, you could defeat it. But that's not true. This is bigger than any human power. The only way to defeat this is with a power greater than yourself. And the way that you tap into that is through surrender, not through trying to be tough.
But there's this, like, it's this shame. I can't.
I know. But that's the disease as well, is filling you with shame. There's nothing shameful. The disease itself is telling you to be ashamed. There's nothing shameful here. You're a warrior. You're doing your best. You're doing your best, man. You reached out to me. You're trying. You're doing your best.
Yeah.
But your best is not good enough because you're a human, and that means you're limited. Human beings are limited. So even when a human being does everything in their power, it's still not enough against this monster. This monster's so powerful. But you want to know the good news? The good news is we have a power to draw upon that's way bigger than this monster. Not our power. Our power is limited. But it's God's power.
Yeah.
There's nothing shameful at all about your situation. You're not weak. You're not lazy. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're doing your best.
Yeah, it's just.
You're tired. You're tired of living this way. That's a gift.
I'm not like a complete addict. I haven't done this for a very, very long time. But now it just happened. And I just don't have any control. And
okay. So I don't want to tell you things that you already know, but being an addict doesn't have anything to do with how frequently you use.
Yeah.
Being an addict has to do with what happens when you start using. Namely, that once you start, you cannot moderate.
Yeah.
So you can tell me you only do this twice a year. But when you do pick up, you have no idea how it's going to end. Or you actually do know how it's going to end, but not the way that you planned on it ending.
Yeah. I'm just, especially because of this month, I lost somebody very, very close to me.
I'm sorry.
And like here I am doing this, It's like it's a shame for her memory.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel disgusted with myself. And yeah, I just.
Are you in a program of recovery?
No.
I want to really strongly recommend that you find a program of recovery.
Okay.
Surround yourself with other people who can listen to you compassionately and who know what you're talking about because they've been there.
Okay.
I want to strongly recommend a 12-step program. It's not for everybody. Not everyone fits in there. Not everyone likes it. But I'm a strong proponent of it, and I think you should at least try it out. And it's a safe place for you to go.
Okay.
You're going to be all right. You're going to be better than all right.
How do I open myself up to God, without feeling
you're open. You're open. The way to get open is life beats you into submission. It's already happened for you. You're open. Go find these people. That's what I'm telling you. Go to a 12-step meeting. Find people who are living a little bit better than you and listen to whatever they tell you to do. You're going to be good. You have my utmost respect. I want you to know that. There's nothing shameful whatsoever. You're the opposite of shameful. You are a hero, and I have immense respect for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. All right. We have another caller. Get to our other callers. We have another caller on the line. Before we get to the next caller, I just want to read a dedication, a donation that came in to the charity.com/RST. Ashley Barish, but there's no dedication message. Ashley, you want to write in the thing? I saw you commenting on the YouTube. Ashley, so happy you called. We all need advice on this. Thank you. Ashley, thank you for the donation. Okay. All right. Who is our next caller? Hello, next caller, anonymous caller.
Good evening, almost good morning, Rabbi. How are you?
Thank God I'm well. And I'm really excited because I think that this might be Shabbos Mevorchim coming up, and getting excited about that. What's up?
I'm not sure how to articulate this.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and this
something
week,
that grinds your gears?
It's grinding my gears. It's something that I've been, like this week, I don't know why, something I may have watched, like triggered me, but this is something I've always been thinking about in a cycle-breaking sort of thing, where I find that in the frum community, and more right-wing frum community, we use this, I'm trying to recall why I thought about it this week, and why I wanted to ask you this. We've used the term, don't make a chil Hashem, which is desecration of God's name.
Right.
I feel like we've used it as a bludgeon on our kids and students in school. And I feel like in my generation, and moving on to my kids, I think they're a little more open-minded nowadays, maybe not. But like almost we've used it as a bludgeon for years, as almost like a don't be different, don't bring attention to yourself. Don't make a chil Hashem has always been used like don't make me uncomfortable. It's like secondhand embarrassment.
Right.
Kids are just acting like kids. They're not making, nobody thinks when they see somebody from a different religion or race, they're doing something funny. They're just being kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like it's been something that's it's almost even now. It's like, years later, you feel like, am I making a chil Hashem now? Could I do this? Like your obviously your actions you should be calculated, but it's almost to a degree where I feel like we've been like restricted in expression. There's a few people who are on Instagram or on social media in general who they let their freak flag fly. It's not even a freak flag, but they're just being their authentic selves and being out there, and it's not an embarrassment. It's not a chil Hashem.
Right.
It's just what the old generation, quote unquote, is uncomfortable with. And how do we break that cycle and say, no, acting like a 10-year-old is fine, and being out there and entertaining or whatever it is not desecrating God's name.
Yeah.
And not everything is something you're uncomfortable with is wrong.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. There's a few things going on. First of all, you're observing a cultural phenomenon, which I have also observed. I'm not a sociologist or an anthropologist, so I can't, give you any data or statistics, but anecdotally, yes, I've definitely observed this phenomenon, which is the weaponization of the concept of chil Hashem, which is really used to suppress people's identity. Yeah, definitely it's a thing that goes on. I have theories why people do it. You said, one of the unspoken motives is you're making me uncomfortable, but I can't admit that you're making me uncomfortable, so I make it a holy war and I pretend that I'm defending God's honor, right? I think there's another reason as well we should speak about, which is you're speaking about the Jewish community. So I think specific to the Jewish community is there is a lot of trauma about keep your head down, don't be noticed, don't make trouble, right? So I think that does come from a certain amount of trauma, like don't make them angry, right? Don't make yourself noticeable, which is
if you behave,
right. You want
they
to
won't notice you.
Yeah, they might hide you in their
They'll
attic.
be out of the firing line.
Yeah, which we all know how preposterous that is, and it doesn't work. But Yisrael, can I get another orange Coke? By the way, I'm enjoying this discussion about weaponization of Chillul Hashem, so I need an orange Coke to fuel my brain. So that's one thing. It's interesting. I don't know if you heard a couple callers ago, there was this mother of this like really unusual young child who's like deep and spiritual and advanced. And it was what they call a spooky little kid, And
Right.
yeah, so I'll tell you like this. Social pressure works really well on neurotypical people because neurotypical people value social acceptance above all else. To the extent that when I say neurotypical people, I mean the majority of humanity. They will lie, cheat, and steal to avoid being ostracized from the group. And in fact, completely justify it because it's such a basic need. Then you have neurodivergent people who also want to be part of the group. They also feel pain when they're ostracized from the group. But for some reason, they will not make compromises in order to fit into the group. Sometimes they don't even know how to make those compromises because they don't have that missing.
They refuse to be they refuse to be underneath the whack-a-mole table.
Right. Either they don't know how to submit to it, or they can't bring themselves to sell out. They just can't do it. So what's interesting is you have these certain outliers, these neurodivergent people who cannot be bludgeoned into submission. And
right.
Yeah. Now what happens is these people have hellish childhoods because childhood in general, in every culture and in every society, childhood is basically a process of socializing you, making you fit in well enough to be an asset to society and not a liability. But what happens is if you can survive childhood, and I'm not using the word survive flippantly, I mean it quite literally. If you can survive childhood, then all these people who were looked at as being disruptive end up being the leaders. So here's what I think. I think that let's make this personal because we can't change the world, we can't change society, but we can change how we behave. And if we're parents, we can change how we treat our kids. We can make a steadfast decision. We can make a commitment that if our child shows any uniqueness or personality or energy or anything they're doing, that we are going to let them know that obviously it's good to channel whatever you have. It's good to direct it, but that they should never dim their light to make other people more comfortable. If God gave you that light, then you need to shine that light, and you can figure out more and more ways of like directing that light, but don't dim your light to make other people comfortable. And if you can make it through this excruciating phase called childhood, you're going to come out on the other end as one of the people that the leaders that society needs to push us to do new things.
Right.
But it's hard to make it through childhood.
I appreciate that.
Because like school and even community, it's like engineered to crush children.
But
So
I didn't want to bring this up, but I feel like schools, like especially in the right wing, ultra orthodox.
it's designed for that.
Like
designed for that.
There's not even,
that's the main objective.
I get even if it's designed for that. There's not even the minimal. There's not even the minimal like the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel there's even like, unless you're a mitzvah in Muda, unless you're like an exemplary student,
right,
and can learn the most Mishnayos Bapeh, or there's nowhere to excel outside the actual learning. There's no music club, there's no, sports by recess, but there's no other outlets outside the learning for a kid to be, there's the jocks, even in the real world, in the non-Jewish world, there's the jocks, but there's, the band, and it feels like there's 50 other clubs where you can excel in and have some sort of social club. And I feel like in our communities, maybe it's starting now, but there's limited,
I always say, like, one of the
advantages
of Chabad, specifically of Lubavitch, is that, and people can tell me I'm wrong, and whatever, you can bash me if you want, but I really do think that in Chabad specifically, there are more potential like niches that you could fall into, as opposed to like in other communities, other frum communities, where like basically there's two options. Either you're a masmid bil or nothing, right? And like in Chabad, we have like the guy who gets the sponge cake for the Fabrengen. And it's like a whole thing. By 3 p.m. already, he's Isaac in this mitzvah of how he's going to get the sponge cake for the Fabrengen. And that's like I'll give you an example, and I don't think he would mind me calling out his name. I think he would actually love me calling out his name. There's this bacher, Yossi Farrow, who goes and puts on tefillin with all like the celebrities and the tech guys, and he's not a big learner. He wasn't like super successful in yeshiva, but
there's the Mitzrayim guy.
But can you imagine if he grew? I'm not bashing other communities, but like I hope I don't have to have hell to pay for saying this. But if Yossi Farrow grew up, let's say, in Lakewood, when he didn't have that channel to be that outlet to be like, okay, I'm going to go put tefillin on celebrities. Okay, like how long can you sustain your willingness to be excited about Yiddishkeit when you don't have a niche to fall into? Right. You don't have an identity. So I know sometimes people accuse me of being very like chauvinistically pro Chabad. I am. Trust me, I can find plenty of fault in Chabad as well. I live in it. That's my I know all the faults because I see it up close. But at the same time, there is a certain advantage that there are more possibilities to find your identity, to find a way to shine.
Still limited.
The world is limited. The world is limited. But look, everything's relatively speaking. There are more opportunities to shine. It's not like there's either Bucky Bashas or Fry. There's other flavors.
Right. Like I have a kid who's like, he sings like practically pitch perfect, and he draws very, very well for a kid his age, very young. I just don't feel, unless I stoke that flame outside school, there's like, I don't feel that doesn't do anything socially. It doesn't give him any street cred, quote unquote.
Correct.
Like I wish this was something that in his social life, in school and stuff, he had other like-minded kids to hang out with, or there was a club that promoted these sort of things.
Yeah.
Where he can be a rock star.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
But
that's just me getting this off my chest.
No, I hear you.
we'll get to gargle grabbing and beard pulling.
Yeah.
Another time.
Listen.
Insider baseball.
Thank God you recognize your kids' talents and encourage them to feel good about their talents. Because imagine the kid who not only he doesn't get any street cred at school for his talent, but he comes home and his parents don't see any use to it either, or maybe even harass him about it.
Why are you wasting your time doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So thank God,
Like when I was a kid, I wish you knew this much Gemara by heart, like
Right.
you know the back of 100 people's baseball cards.
Maybe if they were
But
put.
I actually knew it, so I didn't get in that much trouble. But I appreciate it, Rabbi.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling in.
Have a good Shabbos.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later. All right. Amazing. That was a really geschmacke call. I do say so myself. Gewaldig. Have a couple more donations come in anonymously. Any more emails, Yisro? Is one more caller waiting? Okay, so pull it up. Okay, fine. Pull it up. I'm ready. Pull it up. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, how you doing?
Thank God I'm doing okay. What's up with you?
I'm doing well. I'm on a fast right now. I'm like 2 days into it, and we did some breath work tonight, and I wasn't sure if this was a wild question because I see a lot of your videos are about relationships,
okay,
and its connection to spirituality, which is I feel like the connection here.
Okay.
So I'm doing this fasting thing. A buddy of mine passed away, kind of
oh my goodness.
turned up a lot of, we're motorcycle buddies, and so he kind of just randomly passed away. And
You with me? You with me?
did you hear?
No, you cut out. You told me your friend randomly passed away, and then I didn't hear you after that.
Okay, yeah. So it just made me think about how people say they hit rock bottom, and only then were they able to, whatever it was, get over an addiction and what have you. So I've been trying to think of the best way to wrap up my question for you beyond what my email was, which is like, why does certain methods of trying to, connect with spirituality work more than others, whether it's psychedelics or breath work or meditation. So, the breath work thing kind of connected me, I thought, tonight to some kind of type of energy. And, lo and behold, nobody else in the room, or maybe one other person, was sensing that same vibrational type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, y'all don't feel like you just got done mowing the lawn for 2 hours? You don't feel that vibration? I feel like somebody could just put their hand on my hand and they would feel a vibration, literally. I don't know if that's true. I didn't test it. But yeah, I say all that to say, is there some way that we can, without going to rock bottom, connect with spirituality and remove these ego-driven, feelings like I can't survive without a substance, or, get through to my parents is another one. My dad is like the ultimate trigger. We trigger each other. I can never have a full actual conversation with him because he will like gaslight me and act like I'm crazy. And I'm 36 now, and I'm kind of realizing like there's a reason why I feel like I'm crazy, because I was raised by this man. Yeah. So should I just keep my nose to the grindstone and keep doing breath work, keep doing fasting? Fasting is supposed to be good for spirituality purposes as well. So is there anything else that I should be doing?
So, breath work, fasting, all that stuff, that's good stuff. But that's sort of like what you do when you step away from your life and then there's what you do when you step back into your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an earlier caller, we were talking about integration. Like, how do you take your spiritual awakening and bring it into your day-to-day life? Like, for instance, since you mentioned your biggest trigger, or a big trigger, your relationship with your father. How do you take your spiritual awakening into that battle zone of your relationship with your father? To me, that's the real spiritual quest, is like,
right,
in the areas that are the most threatening.
Yeah. I've had some success, at least with just acknowledging that it's within my responsibility and kind of my duty, and it's a possibility for me not to be triggered, almost no matter what he says.
Yes, exactly.
Truly, no matter what he says. And then I want him to feel the same towards me. Like, I want to be able to say whatever's on my mind.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
But that's not how.
Yeah. You were asking before, like, do we need to hit rock bottom? And the answer is no. We need to become humble, and we need to surrender, and we need to admit powerlessness. But here's the thing. There's no rule for what experience has to convince you of that. Now, some people, they lose everything, and they even lose their lives, and they won't surrender. Other people, they lost nothing, and they come to the conclusion that they need to surrender. So, no, we don't need hitting bottom. We need what hitting bottom brings us to, which is the surrender to God, and to admit that human power, even in its best, in its best form, human power cannot justify our existence. No, you could be the smartest and the coolest and the funniest and the most charming and the best looking and whatever. You could put together all the human qualities in the world and be the best in the world at all of those things. None of that justifies our existence. The only thing that justifies our existence is service. Is surrendering to God's will and trying to show up as a servant, trying to do good, trying to be useful to our Maker, try to treat God's kids with some compassion, because that's one of the ways that we do serve our Maker. So, no, we don't have to hit bottom. We have to accept that conclusion that hitting bottom brings us to. But if you can do it without hitting bottom, that's great. That's indeed, that's one of the great, that's one of the big focuses of certainly of the spiritual teachings that I'm familiar with, the Hasidic teachings, is how do we foster this feeling of surrender without a crisis, without life falling apart. Mm-hmm. How can we become sensitive to the fact that life is so tenuous, and it doesn't have to be because, you're losing your house or your health or your family or anything crazy like that. It could just be you realize that we didn't put ourselves here. God is putting us here every single second, creating us something from nothing. And that itself can lead us to the conclusion that it's a good idea to surrender.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I guess I don't know, it doesn't feel like innate knowledge as far as, how to pursue that sort of lifestyle. Like, I'm in the, like a very military heavy community, and kind of like the best that I can get to is these breathwork events, and people who generally take their health into consideration. Of course, their physical and mental health, but and you mentioned earlier the spirituality aspect goes kind of like can tend to go not analyzed. And, I've had this like neck pain for 5 years, and it got really bad. Again, rock bottom episode. And I was like, I kind of realized like the pain was teaching me that I was doing this to myself. It was coming from my mind. And ever since that moment, it's kind of gotten better. It's not like completely gone, but it feels like, maybe it's because I'm fasting right now. It's supposed to reduce your inflammation.
Yeah.
But it feels like I'm just powering through mentally, getting rid of this pain that I, at once upon a time, was paying $80 to a chiropractor every month to be able to have to go get weekly appointments. And then I would be reset back into pain like 3 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I went off on a tangent with that, but yeah. So that's like the trouble with, I tried to prepare for this call, and I was like,
no, you're doing great. You're doing great. Relax, relax.
In order.
This is not such a formal setting over here. People just
appreciate. I know.
Be yourself. No, you're doing great, man. You really are. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Continue.
Yeah.
Continue. Don't stop.
I guess it was tough because like my friend was so great, and I kind of always had a little bit of trouble making friends and connecting with people. Like I love people. I'm interested by them, by all of us. And, I might be like, not neurotypical or whatnot, but, I talk to people just as easily as I'm talking to you right now. But then when we get in a group setting, it's like I'm kind of the black sheep, and I don't know how it happens, but they'll be having conversations, and I'm kind of off to the side. So, it's toward the end of my military experience, and I moved in with these guys. It was like 7 guys in one roof, and it was kind of like a freaking like game show type thing, or like a no disrespect to anyone with an addiction, but like a halfway house, like a sober living house. And so he became kind of the first person to like really learn all about my life. We had like late night conversations, and he would, hear me talking to my dad and basically make me feel like I'm not crazy for the first time ever. All my coworkers, it's all just stories, but somebody you live with that's like the same age as you, and he's like, yeah, he was talking down to you.
Yeah.
And
it was a little bit
that was just nice to it was nice to be validated, for once. And then our whole motorcycle escapade lasted 3 weeks, and I felt like I lost somebody that I should have never envisioned riding motorcycles with, for the simple fact that it might result in one of us disappearing or just being in a hospital.
Is that how you lost him? There was an accident, motorcycle accident?
Yeah, he was riding by himself. So the cops just knocked on our door at 7 a.m. one morning after I'd gone to sleep, and basically just told us that, he died, and confirmed with like a tattoo on his arm or whatever. But they didn't seem, and this is another thing, I don't know if it's related. It's related. The cops just seemed kind of like callous they seemed like they had switched their brains off. Like some part of the brains was off when they deliver this information.
Yeah, that's how they survive. It's a coping mechanism.
It's got to be, it's got to basically be like that. But it was just uncanny to me at the time to like look at them, and I'm obviously upset, and like 5 young dudes are obviously upset. They don't look surprised. They don't look like they give a care at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just kind of part of the puzzle that stuck with me. It was like, I know it's a common event, but I mean, and they're not salesmen. Like they're, also kind of technically traumatized. So they're, if anything, they're also bitter towards me for being connected to somebody who killed himself on a motorcycle.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. That's very insightful of you. It's true.
So,
yeah.
But I take all that, and it still bugs me, and I still feel like I am, not healed. I'm still living in these, like, like I was being paranoid earlier about, I'm not saying the right things.
Yeah.
I love these, what you're doing with this live stream and everything. Like, there's no reason to be like that, and But
Well, you
it's
internalized
still
a
like,
lot of criticism from your father, so that's why you're self-conscious. But
yeah,
you have self-awareness
right,
about it. You'll get past it.
right, yeah, yeah. It truly felt like it started with him because
Of course it
he
did.
told me one Christmas he was like, he said he faked confidence his whole life. And he kind of let it slip. It was like a Freudian slip. I was like, wait a second, what the fuck did you just say? But so that just, I remember it was probably 3 years ago that he said that. And I was like, well, you're a full grown man. You have no reason to be not self confident. Because the other thing is, he judges me for, my alleged not being confident.
Right.
And I guess I don't hide it as well.
Right. And that's why he resents it,
So,
because he sees the weakness in you that he abhors in himself.
yeah. It's like I'm the
And I would like to recommend to you that you may not be able to influence him. I would like to think that perhaps by living your best life, he will learn from your example. And it's a wonderful thing when our children can become our teachers. But let's not hold out hope for that. Maybe that'll happen. But even if that doesn't happen, what I want to tell you is the way to be the cycle breaker is to become comfortable with your vulnerabilities instead of the way he is, where he abhors himself for whatever he thinks is shameful or weak or vulnerable. You can, and you're already on this path. That's why I'm encouraging you to continue, is to just embrace your full self, the whole thing. Not to try to suppress parts of yourself as being unworthy. That'll be a great healing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll definitely try and do that.
All right, we got to wrap up the live stream over here. We're on for a long time. We're about to sign off. But appreciate the call. I really do. And I want to wish you much
I appreciate
success.
Absolutely. I appreciate you too.
Okay. All right. Be well.
I'll keep listening.
All right.
You too. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna sign off in a minute over here. We're just wrapping it up. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all of our callers, our incredible callers, for their honesty, their courage, their vulnerability. I'm always blown away by the quality of the calls that we have. I just want to mention one more time. I'm going to put in a fundraising pitch: charity.com/RST. Ashley Barish, donation for the whole Soul Torah family. You make the platform come to life. Keep collecting sparks. Thank you for spreading your light with dripping truth. Tizku La'asot. Thank you, Ashley Barish, and thank you for your donation. I did see your donation. Thank you so much. And anyone else who wants to get in a donation right now, that is the address. No, I see your donation. Oh, you're saying your dedication didn't go in with the donation. That's fine. I see it, but I see it now in the chat, and I read it in the chat, and that's all that matters. Okay, if anyone else wants to donate, you could still donate. charity.com/RST. If someone does $5,000 recurring monthly for 12 months, our whole campaign will be finished, and I could stop thinking about fundraising for another year. Okay, let's see. Anyone giving? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you so much for making this a wonderful experience. Thank you to the whole community. You guys are the best. No one else like you. Don't ever forget it.